to my channel. My name is IDANISE and this is IDANISE Official Beauty. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, you know the drill. What are you waiting on? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. There's lots of great content on here. So if you didn't know what this channel is about, everything from beauty to lifestyle, and of course videos on early childhood education, because that's what I do besides doing video. Okay, that's my daily bread, if that makes sense. That's how I make a living. So yeah, so today I'm just gonna be doing my makeup, chit-chatting on some topics that I wanted to talk about and share it on here. So yeah, let's get started, guys. You might have seen a previous video that I did on this hair. I permed like a week ago. Just let it breathe a bit. So pretty much I've been having it in just like what do you call it, protective hairstyling, you can call this. So yeah, and I have to say my hair has improved. It has improved. It's really grown because I lost all my hair, you know what I mean, but it's really coming back. It's really coming back and I'm happy about that. But let's do it real quickly. I already went ahead and moisturized my face. I actually have the cream in my room, and I'll probably do a current favorite videos because I have a lot of current favorite, and I've actually been looking for a moisturizer that really works with my skin, to be honest with you, because it's very oily and to tune it out and stuff like that. And I have this cream that I've been using. It works really well. Do excuse this right here, okay, but it works really well with my skin. So I added that, and then I had a toner that I bought from the dollar store. But the secret is I added some clove to it, and that is an idea I got off of TikTok, and I sprayed with my face, you know what I mean. And before that I used another micellar toner, just to get the face moisturized a bit. But anyways, so I've been using the NYX foundation lately. So I bought these, I had brought two foundation a while back and I hadn't used them. So what happened was I realized that when I started to use those foundation, that those foundation are a little bit lighter for me. So what I've been using is I've been mixing it up with the concealer. Okay, you see when I told you my skin routine has been changing? So I kind of like it because then I don't have to waste the foundation, to be honest with you. But because I'm using like a very dark concealer, it does kind of give me like a gray tone. For those who understand, undertone, it does kind of give me that. So I am working on getting the exact foundation that I need for my skin. So this is what it looks like right here, and I'm gonna add that. All right, guys, so do you see what I mean? Like it gave me like a gray tonish. So my secret that normally what I usually do is before I do like the little baby hairs and stuff, I normally just do my makeup first and then go ahead and do the baby hair. But because I wanted to do like a short video, I kind of went and did the baby hair, so it's kind of giving me two tones, you know what I mean. But that's okay. Hey, makeup is makeup. It's an experiment, you know what I mean. And there's no right and wrong when it comes to makeup. Just do you know what I mean, as long as you make it work, okay. But anyways, as you can see, I went ahead and added my so I'm gonna see if this brush work because I'm too lazy to go in the room and get a proper brush for the concealer. I just ain't got time for it, okay. But anyways, guys, we're going to get into the video. So I do work as an early childhood educator. If you are new to the channel and you may not know, I do work as an ECE. So I am around children a lot. There's good and bad in the career. I've expressed that a lot. Now, that is not to say I do not love my job or I do not love what I do, because I do love what I do. Um, but like I said, I like to advocate for the career of ECE because it has its ups and downs. It has its ups and downs, and we're going through it as educators. So I want to speak for a lot of educators that do go through that. With that said, speaking out of the daycare field, or it could be within the daycare field in or environment, um, something that I've always wanted to express myself on, or even make a video. I was like, should I go on TikTok and start to make videos on these? Because it is frustrating to me. I live in Toronto. I used to say Toronto, but now I say Toronto. Okay. And I used to dog people who say Toronto, because I was like, where's the T in Toronto? Why are you saying Toronto? But now I say Toronto. I live in Toronto, but and to be honest with you guys, I like, as somebody who's born in the Caribbean, you definitely learn a lot in this career in terms of the way you were raised, what is acceptable in cultures, so you definitely have an open mind um, in this career, right? But there's also uh, open mind, like there's also this thing like raising children. And when I talk about raising children, I'm not just talking from a parent's perspective. I'm talking about in general. I'm talking about society. I am talking about what we think, how we think children should be raised as a whole. Okay. And when I say toxicity, yeah. When I say toxicity, children are being raised in toxicity, I am not talking about the typical, oh, toxic. I'm talking about something that a lot of people do not talk about when raising children. Okay. I've learned a lot about myself as an ECE, growing up, and it makes sense now that I learn about a lot about developmental of children. I learn about myself. So one thing I learned, that you don't remain a child forever. Children don't stay children forever. So we are to bring them up in a world where they understand it and they get to evolve and grow through it and grow another generation. So, of course, within this career, you go to college, and there's a lot of philosophies and beliefs that you have to follow, and etc. But at the same time, I do not want to be one of those ECEs that feel like I don't have a say. Let me see if I could put this in the right way. I don't want to be one of those ECEs that my life is just being an ECE is just based on philosophies. There's a lot of philosophies I believe in, the ratio, milieu, etc. A lot of those philosophies, they talk about the environment of children growing up in, learning from things, and you know what I mean. Those I really do believe them, but I'm talking about in today's society. In today's society, that think raising children in a toxic manner is appropriate, and it's not appropriate. You know what I mean? And I work with school agers. You know what I mean? I work with school agers, and what I'm seeing right now is we think it's okay for children to be disrespectful. We think it's okay, and what I'm saying okay is we allow it to happen. I've heard and I've seen so many times, oh, they're just children, they'll grow out of it. And there's some part of these philosophies that I do not agree with, and I'm just speaking for myself as an early childhood educator, that I can go back to where I was growing up and say, you know what, I'm thankful that that was not brought up to me, and that's not the way I was raised. And it's not that I'm better, it's just that now I can say, you know what, there is something that I can be proud of when I grew up, because I do not want to raise my children in a toxic mentality, because society say, hey, this is how children should be raised. Now, all right, I'm back. I think I'm going to use the same brush that I use the concealer, and just kind of contour a bit. So let's get back to the topic, guys. Um, so the thing is, I'm seeing some things as an educator, and I don't know if any other educator has experienced this. First of all, the household is always is the first household to raising a child. You know, whether it's the the parents, the grandparents, or whoever is in charge of that child, they are the first um, people to raising a child. You know, schools, society, the system, they should never be the first people to raise if children. That's what's happening, we're taking a lot away from them. We're taking a lot away from their household, to excuse the fridge, the noise in the fridge. We're taking a lot of from the household, their culture, the way where they were raised. I mean, there are things they have to learn from their grandparents. There are things they have to learn from their mothers. You know, there's a lot of generational curses that needs to be broken through them. So I never believe that society is supposed to raise children. So when children are brought up to school, um, you know, they have some foundation in how to represent themselves at school. So you know, this ideology that teachers are responsible for raising children and how they act in school is nonsense. It's crazy. No, I disagree. Parents or guardians is the foundation, and they have to learn to respect that. And if they don't respect that, they're not going to respect anything else. So you know, this idea of, you know, empathy, and which is great, don't get me wrong, is how the child is I think a lot of times is we become so empathetic for children's lives that we often lose the reality. And for me, I love to see children, you know, growing up. I grew up as an immigrant. You know what I mean? My mother was an immigrant, you know, so I'm able to see things that I know that a lot of children here in Canada may not see. So I know for sure that they can have resilience, you know, they can grow beyond what they go through. So I feel that that is taken away from them because everything is kind of in front of them. Oh, it's okay. You know, they're being given so many choices. And so therefore, they have nothing to cling on to say, to have them have this thought process. And, you know, that way they know what is right and what is wrong. You know, just like, you know, we take away their abilities away from them, and that's why I say children is being raised in a toxic environment. For example, I drop children off to school, right? And I'm not really going to talk about any issues that's going on in school. I'm just going to use general examples that I've seen. I'm just going to use general examples that I've seen, right? So if a child is hitting a teacher, right? A child is hitting a teacher, and we know it is wrong that a child is hitting a teacher. And most often, what I see a lot of time is that child is not corrected, and it depends on depending on the school and all, you know, depending the daycares are in it also, that that child needs to be corrected. And even sometimes teachers have this guilty consciousness where instead of correcting the child for hitting them or, you know, acting away in the classroom, you know, we have this toxic mentality is, oh, you know, they're just children, you know, he had a bad day. And yes, we all have bad days, you know, but we have to teach children realisticness of um of respect. And it's okay to have a bad day, but also there's boundaries. We must teach children boundaries, because as they get older and they don't understand boundaries, then that's going to affect them. because in the real world, in the adult world, you need to have some boundaries, you need to have respect. So I don't understand this toxic system of raising children. It just does not make sense to me. Anyways, I went ahead and did my eyebrows behind the scene. Just not to take up too many time, to be honest with you. But I am going to shape it up. Can't remember where I stopped off, but anyways, I'm just fed up with this toxic mentality of how children are being raised, because normally we try to think toxic is just like abusive household or whatever, and to be honest with you, what I'm seeing particular is it's more low income children, not to label children, but more children, because I grew up in a struggling with a single mother who had to struggle to work, to, I'm thank God that I've seen that, and it's humbled me a lot. But a lot of the children that I work with, they come from low income family, they come from working family, struggling family, trying to make it, you know what I mean? Children come from different backgrounds, different statuses. So I've worked in areas where it's low income, I've also worked in areas where it's working class. And I do see a difference. Children who are in working class, they have more respect, and they have they're very aware. You know what I mean? So it does frustrate me when I see children of low income, mostly colored children. When I see colored children, black children, children of other ethnicities, but majority of black children, you know, um, uh, uh, are losing their morals and the household that they came from. So therefore, there's this stereotype that black children are not disciplined, or that black children are not firm, and this is the way society respect us. They respect OJ and Tisha, or whoever, telling a teacher off, and but I'm telling you, I've worked in working class family, and they say, hey, did you tell Miss Idenise good morning this morning? And it was not that, oh, they owe me a good morning. It's just that the parents make sure their children have that respect level, you know what I mean? And we need to do that. That same thing needs to happen with lower and income. That's why I say children. The household is the first representation of the child, and that should not be taken away from children. And that's why I say society is not responsible for raising children. It is the household, not society at all. Not society. Not society. Because, and it's like, we know it's wrong, but nobody really says anything, and we need to show these children that they can overcome their household, you know what I mean? We need to teach children they need to respect their elders, they need to respect their parents, they need to, but also parents need to be aware. They need to have awareness, they need to have awareness of what's going on. It's not always just the school system that's ruining children, or my children learn to curse from school. No, sometimes parents need to have awareness of themselves on what's going on in their household, and sometimes society feel like, well, maybe we need to come and take over, etc. I don't know, but I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it because I need to feel that I know that children have a future in society, and they're not just, oh, they're just children, they're children. So what's going to happen when they turn 18? That behavior is, that's been going on for years, has not been corrected. By this time, they're going into jail, they're going into prison, and those same people are not going to be there to rescue those children out of prison. Trust me, you know and that's why I say it, this affects a lot of lower income children, and it's quite annoying, because we need to teach children, regardless of where they come from, this is what life is all about, and they can do it. We need to teach children they can be resilient. Yes, we do. We fail, we make mistakes, and we're gonna cry and we're gonna fight. But at the same time, I gotta straighten up. You know what I mean? I gotta straighten up. Because at the end of the day, when they get older and they go to high school and they got to get graduate, and they still have the same attitude problem, they were showing that from 6 years old that was never corrected, and they were being told, oh, they're just children, don't worry about it, okay, yeah, he's a child, he just hit. That no, 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 no. And it also raised a stereotype, especially when it comes to black children. Like I said, I'm from the Caribbean, I'm from the hardcore, like we don't play that, especially coming from a Haitian household, Bahamian background. No, we do not play that. And I respect it a lot. A lot of times I say, oh my gosh, but now I respect it a lot. But not to say this is what Canadian society is about. Is I feel like we need to step back and let parents raise their children. Parents needs to step up where, when I say step up, like be aware of what's going on in society, be aware of what's going on in school, be aware of what's going on with your children, mentally, physically, spiritually. Be very aware of that. And it'll make a difference in your household, you know what I mean? It'll make a huge difference. So, as somebody who, like I said, grew up in a Caribbean household, I realized that, you know what, there's a lot of generational curses that I need to pray about. I need to, you know, and children needs to be aware of this. They need to be aware of who they are and where they're from. It's not just an identity thing. It's not just, oh, I'm off of this background and this is what. No, there's more to it than that. I had to understand who I am and where I'm from, and look back and say, what, God has taken me so far, and I'm very thankful. And it changes my mindset a lot. And even at times when I do make mistakes, and there are things I don't understand, these are things that I have to reflect on. So children do need a very firm background where they can rely on. Yes, they're going to fail sometimes. They're only human. But they need to know they can pick it up, and they can carry on. They can carry on. They don't have to. I mean, the generation is definitely raised different, to be honest with you. I mean, this is a generation where they're allowed to express their anger, they're allowed to just put everything out there. You know what I mean? I didn't grow up like that. I did not grow up like that. So I try to understand, the children that I work with. I try to understand them from their generation. So that's why I try not to do. I relate to them in a way, but there are times I said, you know what, I have to look at them from their generation. You know what's going on in the world today and how it's going to affect them in their future. And like I've literally seen with my own eyes where I see teachers or staff is just chasing children, and it's not normal. It's not normal if you're chasing children or one child 10 times a day, 11 times a day, in a schoolyard. It's not normal. It's not normal. And if it's happening, then it should be talked about, because not just only it affects the teacher, but it affects the child. It affects the child, because what is that child doing in school if it's just being chased after all day? Well, what's the purpose of that child being in school? So yes, I feel there's a system that takes pride in raising children in a toxic manner. And that's what I meant. Toxicity. Children being raised in toxic. Anyways, I put white powder in here. I don't know. I use white powder when I do my work makeup, but I'm gonna mix it up a bit. We definitely live in a society now where um, we take children mistakes, or children being children as a moment thing, and that's very frustration, because and maybe maybe because it's more for me a spiritual thing to understand where I'm coming from with this, because like I said, children don't get to be children forever. That same child that you see right now, and they're going to be a man one day, they're going to be a woman one day, and whatever that environment they're in, that's what's going to, that's how it's, it's going to, evolve their lives. So that does kill me, that we feel that sometimes children doesn't need correction, um or it'll they'll get over it, oh, it's, oh, they'll get over it. And that's very dangerous to me, because children don't know the world that they're in, and if you let children run free, of course they're going to run free, but it scares them because they don't know what they're running into. And that's why children need guidance. They need guidance, they need protection. So we need to be there for, to guide them and to show them the right direction, and um because I feel like this is a generation that people don't really know what to do with them now, to the point like they actually do not know what to do with them. And um I'm sorry to say this, even though I work as an early childhood educator, I'm sorry to say this, and some is going to disagree with me. Not everything in the system is going to work for every child. Okay? Some children need their background. Some children need, some children come from places where, to be honest with you, their background is going to help them more than the system. They like, people are not going to like what I'm saying. You know what I mean? They need to understand where their parents come from. They need to understand. They need that. They need, when that is taken away from them, guys, I'm sorry for this. It's just, listen. Yeah, they need their background, guys. I feel like this is so. They need their grandma's facial expression. They need, like, some of us do not discipline the same way. That kills me when we think all children are disciplined the same way. And no, you shouldn't be. I don't even believe in spanking anymore, although I grew up with spanking. And please don't understand, growing up in the Caribbean, um, when our parents spank us, understand we grew up in a different environment. Okay. Yes, there's a lot of psychological issues to that, that can be explained later. But however, um to firm a child does not, it doesn't mean you have to beat a child, because that doesn't work. Like I said, that does not work. But however, my mom is a very quiet woman. She's a very meek woman. But when she made that facial expression, I would not dare cross her. Okay? But we have a generation today, you make a face expression, they say F you. What you do? F you. That is wrong. We need to tell children that is wrong. Honey, listen, I would not dare cross some of the elders right now. Now that is the no-no. You know what I mean? I would not dare cross some of my elders at all. Mm-mm. And there's a principle to this. There's a principle to this in life. There's a principle. We must teach children to respect elders and respect their elders, even when you disagree, even when you have different paths. And, we must teach children to respect the elders. There is a God who's watching. You know what I mean? We must teach them that. So, like I said, not every child the system can raise. Not every child the system can raise. It's just, no, it's not, like I said, beating a child does not work. So you should not be beating a child. It does not work. You know what I mean? But like I said, I grew up, and I know there's a lot of people who can relate, grew up in a different system, that we understand the natural habitat that we were in. Then when you have a child here, they need love. They need to be spoken to, and they need to be guided. And yes, they're going to test the waters, like we all test the waters with our parents. They're going to test the waters, but they need to know, when you do this face, oh no, hello. And I find in this system, in Canadian system, they don't even like that. They don't even like when you, listen, we all do not raise children. Not every mother has the same facial expression when they're raising children. You know what I mean? This ideology that, We all have to have this monotone. No, 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 honey. They gonna see that Caribbean face. They gonna see that Caribbean face. They gonna understand it. They gonna know what it means. You know what I mean? It ain't mean that I'm harming the child. It ain't mean that I'm doing anything. They gonna know I am the adult here. Put it down. It doesn't mean I don't love the child. I'm just installing certain things in that child so they can be aware that, hey, that's, you know what I mean? Not everybody's gonna say, sit down. It's okay, sit down. Out of all these mothers in Canada, you think they all speak like that? No, no. I am sorry to say that we don't raise. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We do not. No, that's not my mother. No, 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 no. You know, like I would hang out with my childhood friends or whatever, and we could even like, even if I see them now, we could all talk back and say, hey girl, you remember when your mom used to act like that? All of our mothers had different facial expression, and it was a cultural thing. You know what I mean? I can't say, oh, girl, me, you and your mother, my mother used to act just like your mother. They talk this. No, every household was different and was raised different, you know what I mean? But it had the same styles, same philosophies or whatever. But our parents did not talk alike, look alike. No, no. Every household was different. So let me know what you guys think. Okay, I'm gonna finish up on this makeup. Pretty much done, honestly. I just gotta put on some eyelashes and I'm gonna get back to you. So yeah. All right, guys, so I am pretty much done with the look. Definitely different, definitely different. I think the eyelashes definitely give it an older look. I'm not sure if I like the colored. I should have just left it plain. I want to take it off. I want to take it off, but I'm gonna add a lip gloss to that and just see if it'll make a difference. And I think maybe like one a red lipstick would look good on this look with the hair. And it doesn't help that I have on green. You know what I meant. Um, okay, so I took it off, guys. Yeah, it was just too much. All right, guys, so this one is much better. I took out the red lipstick that I had, so it's definitely much better. So pretty much this is the look. So it's not a makeup tutorial. Yeah, it's not a makeup tutorial. Just me doing my makeup and chit-chatting with you guys. Yeah, so this is the look here. I feel like the eyelashes is maybe a little bit too deep. But anyway, so let's put this up. Let's see. Yeah, so this is the look here. I am done. So let me know what you guys think about the video and what you think about what I said. Yeah. Yeah, so let me know what you think. And yeah, I will see you guys in another video. So keep promoting the channel and subscribe. So later.